So it's like, don't don't play yourself because we grew up where there was a lot of things wrong, and so we went from minimalism to maximalism, right? So now everybody wants everything in everything because there was so little in everything. Now there ain't no balance, right? So I was like, the third thing really that I want to emphasize was if you do creative stuff for attention, this is why it's gonna hurt you because you always get attention for doing creative stuff. No one's creative. So the moment you start being creative, everybody's gonna give you attention. That's automatic. That's where most people get lost in the sauce. Cause it's like you end up getting distracted. It feels good to be acknowledged and feel attractive and stuff, but whole time you're not really attractive. Whole time you a dub, but you hanging and getting applauded by the dubs, right? So it's like you get all the attention, but then as soon as you start mentioning some money, everybody leave. Or you start mentioning commitment, everybody leave. Or if you start giving people directions, everybody leave. Like, no, that's not influence. I heard somebody tell me the other day, I was at somebody's business helping them do cleaning. Like, I just took this cleaning gig just so I could get some bread. And they were like, they noticed this phenomenon in Philly where it's like there's people who, and it happens in Atlanta, it happens in LA. They just don't know it because they only from Philly. But I was happy they recognized it. They said people think that they're public figures because they be at all the events. Let me say that again, right? Because it's a big gem. If you think about how a lot of people prioritize what successful means, it's like because I'm pulling up and I'm supporting you, and because people say what's up to me and ask me what I'm working on, I'm a public figure because I be at the events, tapping in. It's like, you're not a public figure. You're not an influencer because you be at the events supporting people. That's not how that works. Being an influencer or a public figure means that you're able to make people make decisions and do stuff. You know what I'm saying? It means when you come in the room, there's impact, there's social impact, there's social change. So, for example, like if you was doing some political stuff, when you pull up, you make people vote. You don't make people think about voting. You don't make people talk about voting. You make them get into the ballots and vote. Even if that's not what they initially was going to do, if they were less informed about it, by the time they done talking to you, you want to vote. You like, yo, I got to get my vote, and I'm even if I got to take off. What like obviously the level of urgency, because that's the word they were pounding that word into me, urgency, 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 urgency. Like if you don't give people a sense of urgency, that's just it. You know what I mean? That's just it. So that's why I'm saying if you're ready to build a business, you mean just stay diligent in creating. Because all this other stuff is starting to get people distracted. People want to be managers and road managers, and like they want to be everything, but they're not really that good at one thing. There's like you should be in high demand. Like I always take stuff back to high school because people be acting like high school, but like they don't really be recognizing like okay, if you go and play the high school rules, you got to understand how high school rules. Like when I was low key, Chanel gave me like a master class. I was scrubbing the floors, you know what I'm saying? But she was really like giving me a master class because she was like, yo, you be giving it up too much. You got to just use the gram to flex. You know what I mean? And then use these lives to communicate your value because like it requires people to want to tune into the live when you go live. Because if you drop the gems in the reels and in the posts, then it's like people can kind of just get it for the free. And I was like, I know, but I was trying to be empathetic. And she was like, stop being empathetic. This a business. And so I was like, you know what, you right. But I'm not practicing certain principles correctly. So that's why I was here today. I wanted to be empathetic for y'all. I don't want it to seem like, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to drill you or make it seem like you're doing something wrong. I'll be doing it wrong too. You know what I mean? I made some mistakes along the way. I don't always make the right moves as well. There's money I be making or whatever, and there's the impact that I'll be having. But sometimes I even forget like, where's my lane? You know what I mean? What I'm really really good at is bringing people together. Right? That's my superpower. But bringing people together so that they can you know what I mean, build families and like do some long term building and healing. I mean, I don't really build superficial relationships. You dig? I help people get married. I help people, have kids. I help people find somewhere to live. You know what I'm saying? I'm into helping people bring their parents into their lives on their creative journeys. You know what I mean? Helping them listen to their music, bringing them to their first concert. Like I do family trauma healing work. That's where I shine at. You know what I mean? So it's like that's that's where I would like to summarize this conversation, right? And let y'all go. Number one, if you care about how people feel about what you look like creating, hey, look, man, you need a whole lot of dirt or AKA shit to make plants grow. There's a lot of manure, there's a lot of fertilization that go on with creating great things. You know what I'm saying? So you probably gonna make 90 ugly Jones. Not ugly like they bad, but just like they don't always hit the way they supposed to hit. Let me say it like that. Like you gonna create some stuff that's not gonna always hit as hard as or as good as you would like, but that's the foundation, that's the building blocks for you to get to that one. So don't stop creating. You always want to create, even if you don't share it. Just make sure you build it, right? So it's like don't get so caught up in what people think about. Like think about a sponge.